This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this evening. You ready for this? Well, Ethan Bear's signed, so what else do we have to take care of? Not much of anything, do we? Well, not so fast. We do have some PTOs, and yes, in case you missed it today, Ryan Stanton and Devin will join the Edmonton Oilers on professional tryout contracts for camp, in which, well, our head coach, Dave Tippett, expects to have 24 forwards, 12 defensemen, which is the max he can have, and of course the goaltending situation, 5 or 6, I can't remember what I read, but that's not as important as getting to what we have to get to in discovering who these guys are that are coming to Oilers camp not on a contract. But ooh, wait a minute, there's some intrigue here. So we'll start off hot start with Devin because that would be the name more appealing to a lot of Oilers fans, and I'll explain why right now. Left-hand centerman. Here's his stats. Of course, I make them too small. Give me a second, would you? There we go. You like that? That's better. That's better for my eyes, too. So Devin a guy who is drafted way back in 2012 by the Dallas Stars, made his NHL debut at 21 years old in the 15-16 season, then went on to play a total of 82 games the next 2 years with Dallas, putting up 33 and 32 points respectively, scoring 13 goals and 11 goals in each of those seasons in 16-17 and 17-18. But then all of a sudden you see a very troubling trend really start to develop and get worse as he goes along in his career with the Anaheim Ducks, Dallas Stars, and Columbus Blue Jackets, as in that 32-point season, right? 32 points. He was a minus 30 on the year. We'll explain that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But that's a tough one if you're Devin to deal with for sure. And you look at especially a lot of those points coming on the power play with a total of 11 of them, so 21 even strength. Oof, that is tough for Devin I can't remember what Dallas was like in 17-18, maybe a little bit like the Oilers in 17-18, but still, we talked about Athanasiou and all that, so yeah, that's to look at, but it is what it is. And here's the other side too. You can get down on the minuses all throughout his career. The fact that he hasn't even reached a total of whatever you want to say, 10 goals since the 18-19 season, so that's only 1 year removed, but only had 5 goals in 45 games, so that's almost 10 goals and almost maybe 20 points last year between Anaheim and Columbus. He's only 26 years old, so a lot adds up, and if we're willing to give Jujhar Khaira another chance to go, well, suddenly it all adds up, and we can make do with that, right? Okay, dandy. Fine enough. Let's go talk about the face-off percentage, because he is a center, and if the Oilers are going to sign him, we're going to need him to be a fourth-line center in place of Jujhar Khaira, a left-hand shot option instead of having Gaetan Haas in the lineup to start the season, because right at this point it's not looking like he's going to be ready to go. I mean, probably might be ready to go, but depending on how protocols and getting to Canada and all that works, but what do you do? Anyway, let's take a look at that face-off percentage, shall we? 47% in that rookie year, then 46.3%, and the guy has never, once in his career, in 209 games, his face-off percentage is 47%. Okay, for an Oilers team that is going to need to have a fourth line that can contribute something. I'm not asking everything. I'm not asking a lot. I'm just saying something. At some point, we have to have bottom 6 centers that can go out there and be as close to 49 to 52% as possible. And Devin a career guy, sitting, never achieving. In fact, outside of the 42 games with Dallas where he went 30 for 30 in the faceoff dot and has not played a lot of center since in his career, well, you know what? He needs to really achieve something to be effective as a centerman for the Edmonton Oilers, and of course as a player for the Oilers. So if that's one thing that he develops in camp and looks really sharp in the face-off dot, say against Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, maybe he bites a contract, does Devin But end of the day, you know what? Yeah, you can bring all the offense you want and stuff, and he has brought offense in limited ice time before, right? 14, 15 minutes a night, and he brings still some offense in half a season's worth of games in 11 and a half minutes of ice time. So he's a guy capable of producing that. But unfortunately, if you're going to be a minus player who doesn't win face-offs on the fourth line, I personally don't have a lot of time for that. Maybe a lot of other people do, and I'm in the minority here, which really is not an unusual situation. If you're just joining Dolynny TV, usually I'm in the minority till proven right or wrong, and then I go back the other way. But problem is, right now as it stands, yes, honestly, he's probably an upgrade, technically speaking, on Jujhar Khaira. But to upgrade on Gaetan Haas, who should be coming into his own in the NHL this season, I really don't think you're getting anything. And if I'm having to say, I'm going to go 5 games between the start of the season and Gaetan Haas getting into the lineup for the first time. Would I rather Devin Shore or would I rather Jujhar Khaira? I'm going to give the credit to the guy that's been here and let Khaira try and revive a bit of whatever's left of his career here as an Oiler in those 5 games. I know I've talked about trading the guy a lot, but that's just me. I'm going to give it to the guy that we've homegrown and developed. You can hate Khaira all you want for just kind of the bust process of his career for the past 2 years, but end of the day, I think he can still produce something if he engages physically, gives us something as a centerman, and produces a little bit of offense, right? Fair enough. If he doesn't, well, woulda, coulda, shoulda with Devin Shore, and I mean that's the history of the Oilers since 2005, 2006. In fact, woulda, coulda, shoulda, Doug Weight. Anyway, don't need to beg on that anymore. For Corsi 4, Devin Shore is a guy that does not drive possession. Devin Shore is a minus 3.9% possession driver. That's tough. Relative to his team, minus 1.7 worse than the average. So again, right, still worse than the most average of the team. And when it comes to the on-ice goals for on-ice shooting percentage, Devin Shore's shooting percentage on like his team's shooting percentage is 7.6. We've seen a lot better. The Oilers have way higher than that. That's for sure. Actually, pardon me, 7.0. It's worse than that. It's 7.0 in his career. And his Corsi 4 is 47.1. Pardon me, a minus 2.9, not a 3.9, my bad. Minus 2.7 relative though. So if you know what those numbers mean, that's not looking pretty. On ice save percentage, 907 save percentage. Not bad, I guess you could say. Not bad at all. And realistically, on ice goals for in his career, 110. On ice goals against, 160 over the course of 288 games. So this guy's costing you 2 out of 3 games he's on the ice for a goal against. And on the fourth line role, I mean, that's enough as the Edmonton Oilers to sink you, realistically. Right? We know how this could go. You have Mike Smith in net, Devin Shore's out there, goal goes in, Mike Smith suddenly gives up 5, game over, right? End of the story. That is a real possibility, and you can't even argue otherwise. All right, enough about Devin Shore. I mean, you know what? He's probably an upgrade, realistically, on Jujhar Khaira. End of the day, if you're looking at taxi squatting Jujhar Khaira, but realistically, I'm inclined to give it to Khaira. So that's looking at the stats. That's making an informed decision is how I'll put it. I'm not using my feeling. This is an informed decision on the basis of the stats and what the team has already. Devin Shore should not earn a contract from the Edmonton Oilers to fill what technically is probably only a 5-game role. That's just my informed decision. Now, obviously, it's opinion, yes, sure, but I feel like that needs to be noted. So then you move on to Ryan Stanton, who is a St. Albert, Alberta product. Oh, hold on. Nobody's mentioned that tonight. Nobody has mentioned Ryan Stanton from the St. Albert region goes out there and earns a PTO with the Oilers. Nobody's mentioned that. But maybe somebody has, and I'm just making fun of, just having a little bit of fun with you. Anyway, Ryan Stanton, well, he is a Vancouver Canucks legend, as noted by Twitter today and thoroughly today. He's a guy who's played in the NHL, most recently with Washington 1 game, and he's had a total of 118 games of experience with Vancouver, 1 with Chicago for a total of 120. What you need to know about Ryan Stanton is not what he's been doing with the Capitals, Blackhawks, with the Canucks. That's not what you need to know. what you need to know about Ryan Stanton is the fact that he's been in the minors for the past little while in his career. He's been spending time, I believe, with the Ontario Reign last season. The season before, spending time with, of course, the Bakersfield Condors. Condors fans are very familiar with Ryan Stanton, might I add. So don't go considering yourself Ryan Stanton homer if you don't know his time with the Bakersfield Condors. Now, he's spent time with the Ontario Reign, like I mentioned, 5 points in 36 games played there last season, 20 points in 65 games played with Bakersfield in 18-19. And yes, he did play with Bakersfield actually in 2017-18, 46 games in with 8 points. So Ryan Stanton, I guess if you have to shuffle up what's going to happen there with Ryan Stanton at camp, he has a contract with the Bakersfield Condors. He will be playing with the Bakersfield Condors this year. This is, if anything, Broberg's going back to Europe. I know I've seen all of a sudden on Twitter somebody was mentioning rumblings about Broberg going back to Sweden not happening and he's coming to Oilers camp. I haven't seen anything else outside of that to confirm that, but if it happens, great. And I mean, 12 defensemen at camp, somehow you got to get to that number, so maybe Broberg's part of that process. Great, Danny, and awesome. But at the end of the day, I don't think Broberg deserves to be on the team just based on the fact that we should not be wasting his talent trying to shove him into the lineup to play 2 or 3 games in an injury spot, because that's what we got Slater Cuckoo for. Fair? Fair. All right. So outside of that, you've got Ryan Stanton at camp just kind of floating. No, Ryan Stanton is at camp to simply fill the hole of we need a guy on the back end to be able to fully scrimmage, right? 12 defensemen, that means 6 defensemen aside. You've got 24 forwards, that means 12 forwards aside, and you're able to pare down at worst when you get down to your taxi squad of 29 guys. Realistically, that's still almost 15 guys aside, so you have 9 forwards. You have, of course, 4 defensemen. Well, that's 13, and then you have 2 goalies and an extra goalie on the other side, which is your taxi squad goalie anyway. And suddenly you see how camp's about to evolve here under Dave Tippett in year 2 of a Tippett Holland brain trust. All right, fair, dandy. I think it's all explained. I think it's fairly simple. What's going to happen here is, honestly, yes, Devin Shore very well might earn a contract with the Oilers. He very well does not fill a need we have based on looking at the situation realistically. We've already got Alan Quine. I forgot to mention him, right? He's a centerman that very well might fill that role if Jujhar Khaira is not here while Gaetan Haas is out of the lineup. You've got Jujhar Khaira and you've got Gaetan Haas by Game 5 of the NHL season. There is no need to complicate it further and add another guy. But end of the day, he is a body at camp that pushes the level of competition and does give you a way to evenly spread out your talent on the squads to begin camp. And if he gets down to those final cuts, at worst he earns a contract somewhere else and probably hurts us. I mean, that's how it goes. But it all remains to be seen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I did not expect to go 13 minutes and 30 seconds this evening. Normally this is about 10 minutes of topic on something that happened hours ago. But it's been a crappy afternoon trying to leave work, got home, and now it's just time to rant. Thank you for listening to me. I've been bubbling all day to talk about this. So thank you for taking some time this evening to listen to me. I appreciate it. We're back with World Juniors live streams tomorrow, 7:30 for Sweden against Russia. That's the big one, the big ticket one. And then, oh yeah, don't forget, New Year's Eve, come spend it here on Dolynny TV. I know, unlike last year, you can't spend it at the bar going to the Canadian Brew House paying $20 for cover to get free wings for the year. But hey, welcome to the new world. Let's spend it here together on YouTube, spending it watching Team Canada succeed with Dylan Holloway in the lineup, and then watch Philip Broberg dominate Team USA on New Year's Eve. Is there anything better than watching Team USA get handed a loss on New Year's Eve? No, it doesn't matter if it's Canada or Sweden or who. It's just a good all-around time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I've now gone 14 and a half minutes. I'm going to shut up, get on out of here. Have yourselves a great evening. More to come, I'm sure. I am up on, gone.